Still too many kids that spend too many nights there.
So it's still happening?
Yes, yeah. Because again, it's sometimes the only safe place to put that child.
We have an update tonight to a story we first reported. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear confirming the state is still housing some of the most challenged foster children in their custody at government offices like the L&M building on Broadway here in downtown Louisville. For more than a year, Republican lawmakers have been sounding the alarm, calling on Andy Beshear to change this practice.
But advocacy groups tell us that it'll take bipartisan efforts and a lot more money to find a long-term solution. Isaiah Kim Martinez has been looking into this for us. So what's changed since you first started reporting on it? And I know Shay started reporting on it in 2023.
Shay McAllister. Yeah, guys, we talked about the cots, in some cases air mattresses we heard reports of. As far as these foster kids, now the governor tells me they've turned some of the office space into a bedroom for these temporary stays. So we'll have to see exactly what that means. But again, we talked about the air mattresses, the cots in these buildings. Regardless, though, experts warn this is a problem statewide that'll have serious consequences if not fixed. Are foster kids still sleeping on the floor of the L&M building in Louisville?
So no one was ever sleeping on the floor of a building. There's actually a bedroom that is in that building that is only for the difficult situations where you have kids that may have been violent, may have been sexually aggressive because of the trauma that's been done to them.
Kentucky foster children with some of the more serious behavioral challenges continue to sleep in the L&N building on 9th and Broadway, a government office building doubling as a temporary home for kids with nowhere else to go.
They're in a crisis. They've already been in the child welfare system. They've been kicked out of wherever they were for whatever reason.
In these cases, social workers are also serving as caregivers for teenagers who can be violent. Stays ranging from one night to a few days.
It's sometimes the only safe place to put that child, making sure that wherever you're going to place them next, they're not a danger to themselves or the other kids there.
We first reported on the issue back in July of 2023. This past December, we asked Governor Andy Beshear if things are changing.
But we're continuing to work with our providers out there to try to lessen those number of nights.
It's happening statewide, says Terry Brooks, for a struggling foster care system forced in some cases to send kids out of state.
We have to come to grips that if we are ever going to solve this problem, we have to put our money where our mouth is.
Brooks is the executive director of Kentucky Youth Advocates, which pushes for policy to help kids. He sees a solution similar to the dedicated intake center over in Nashville, Tennessee, providing a more appropriate place for treatment and determining next steps.
These young people in another 4 or 5 years are going to be young adults in your community. These kids can't be thrown away. They can't be ignored.
In October, Kentucky Auditor Allison Ball's office launched an investigation into this issue. Now, guys, I asked Auditor Ball's office for an update into this investigation and potentially the time frame, how long this could take. They didn't really give me specifics. They say it's ongoing, and we'll have to see when those investigative reports come out.
Okay. And I was asking you about the social workers. There are social workers watching these kids, but they have extreme behavior problems, so they may not be capable of watching them?
Right. That's kind of the idea. These are not trained caregivers per se. So they're not trained to specifically treat kids who might be going through some of the most traumatic experiences at a young age. And then, we talk about those behavioral issues. I mean, it can't be just anybody watching over these kids. Plus, then you have how many social workers per kid. That becomes another issue as well. So we know they're in the building. We just don't know how many for each kid, and that can be part of the problem.
All right.
Thanks for the update.
We've been following closely. Thank you.